You left that job in March, my friend said, and your 401k match just disappeared. All of it, gone back to the company. 1.8 million workers lost their employer 401k match last year by leaving jobs before their vesting schedule completed. The 401k vesting schedule forfeiture is not a penalty buried in fine print. It is a legal mechanism your company designed to reclaim money you thought was yours. The average forfeited amount per worker is $6,400, and most people walk out without ever calculating that number before they resign. I'm going to show you the exact vesting schedule clause that costs workers this money, why the timing of your resignation determines everything, and what to check before you hand in notice. If you have a 401k with employer matching right now, every single sentence in this video applies directly to your account balance. Your employer's 401k match is not a gift. It is a retention tool with a legal expiration date attached to your employment. The mechanism is called a 401k vesting schedule, and it determines what percentage of your employer's contributions you actually own on any given day. A cliff vesting schedule means you own 0% of your employer's contributions until a specific date, then 100% instantly. A graded vesting schedule releases ownership in increments. 20% per year over 5 years is the most common structure used by American employers. The moment you resign before your vesting date completes, every unvested employer dollar is classified as a forfeiture and returned directly to the company's plan fund. That forfeited money does not disappear from the retirement system. Your employer legally redistributes it to other employees' accounts or uses it to offset future contribution costs. Fidelity reported that in one recent quarter alone, 401k forfeiture accounts held over $1.8 billion in returned employer contributions nationwide. The employees who lost that money were not reckless. Most were chasing a raise, a better title, or a job that felt more aligned with where they wanted to go. The 401k match forfeiture happened not because they made a financial mistake, but because they did not know the forfeiture clock was running simultaneously with their career clock. Your vesting schedule end date and your resignation date are two clocks running in opposite directions, and almost nobody watches both at the same time. HR departments are legally required to tell you about the vesting schedule, but they are not required to remind you about it when you submit your resignation letter. The vesting disclosure is buried in the summary plan description document, a document that averages 43 pages and is handed to you on your first day at a new job. On your first day, you're also signing tax forms, direct deposit paperwork, and a benefits package, so the 43-page SPD goes into a folder and stays there. The behavioral architecture here is not accidental. The vesting disclosure requirement is technically met, and the cognitive load of onboarding ensures it is never remembered. When the raise offer from a competing company arrives, the mental math the employee runs is salary increase minus current salary, not new salary minus unvested 401k match balance. A 22% raise sounds like a win until you calculate that the forfeited $8,000 in unvested match takes 14 months to recover at the higher pay rate. The 401k vesting schedule forfeiture exploits a specific cognitive bias called present bias, the human tendency to weight today's visible salary over tomorrow's invisible account balance. The new employer's offer is concrete and immediate, a number on paper with a start date attached to it. The unvested match is abstract and future-facing, a number you would have received eventually if you had waited, but it requires mental effort to feel as real as the offer letter. Your brain processes the offer letter as gain and the unvested match as a non-loss, which means the forfeiture never registers as the financial decision it actually is. $6,400 is the average forfeiture per departing employee according to Vanguard's 2023 How America Saves report, but averages hide the worst cases. An employee with a 6% employer match on a $75,000 salary accrues $4,500 in employer contributions per year before vesting is calculated. Under a 5-year graded vesting schedule, leaving at the end of year 2 means the employee walks away owing back 60% of all employer contributions received. On a $75,000 salary with 3 years of employer matching, the forfeited unvested portion can reach $8,100 in a single resignation decision without checking the vesting date. Now apply the compounding that money would have generated inside the 401k. At 7% annual growth over 30 years, $8,100 forfeited at age 32 becomes $61,700 in retirement. The 401k match forfeiture is not a $6,400 mistake. It's a $61,700 mistake disguised as a $6,400 oversight, and the disguise works because the retirement timeline is invisible today. For workers who job hop every 2 to 3 years throughout their career, the cumulative forfeiture across 5 job changes can exceed $40,000 in nominal dollars before compounding. Compounded at 7% over a 30-year career, $40,000 in total forfeited employer match becomes approximately $304,000 that never enters retirement savings. $304,000 is the price of not checking a vesting schedule before signing an offer letter, and it's paid in the future when the invoice is completely unavoidable. The worker who left in March never calculated any of this. They saw the raise, felt the excitement, and handed in notice without opening the SPD document once. But here's the comparison that makes this concrete. An employee who delays resignation by 4 months to complete vesting keeps $8,100 and declines a competing offer with a $3,200 annual salary advantage. The friction fix here is a single calendar rule. Before you engage seriously with any competing job offer, you open your summary plan description and locate the vesting schedule table. Your SPD is available through your HR portal, your benefits dashboard, or a direct email request to HR. This document must be in your hands before you enter salary negotiations. Find the vesting schedule section, locate your hire date, and calculate the exact date on which your next vesting increment completes. That date is your negotiation anchor. If the next vesting milestone is within 90 days, you now have a specific, legitimate business reason to delay your start date at the new employer. Most hiring managers will accommodate a 60 to 90-day start date delay for a candidate they want, and a professional framing around a prior commitment is both honest and standard practice. If the vesting milestone is more than 6 months away, run the comparative math. Divide the unvested match balance by the monthly salary increase the new offer provides. That calculation tells you exactly how many months it takes for the raise to recover the forfeiture, and whether the new role actually pays more in year 1 than your current role does. If the raise does not recover the forfeiture within 12 months, you're taking a net pay cut in your first year, regardless of what the offer letter says. The physical friction here is not complex. It's a printed checklist of 3 numbers: unvested balance, monthly raise delta, and months to recovery, computed before any verbal acceptance. A verbal acceptance before this checklist is complete is the moment the forfeiture becomes financially irreversible. Step 1. Log into your HR benefits portal this week, locate the summary plan description, and download the section labeled Vesting Schedule or Employer Contribution Schedule. If you can't find it, send one email to HR with the subject line SPD Vesting Schedule Request. You're legally entitled to this document within 30 days of request under ERISA. Step 2. Calculate your current unvested balance by taking your total employer contributions received and multiplying by the unvested percentage at your current tenure date. Example, if your employer has contributed $9,000 total and you're 40% unvested, your forfeiture risk right now is $3,600. That's the number you need visible before any job search activity. Step 3. Build a resign after date into your career calendar, a specific calendar date on which your next vesting increment completes, set as a recurring annual event with a 60-day advance reminder. That reminder fires 60 days before your next vesting date every single year, which means every future resignation decision is automatically reviewed against the vesting clock. Step 4. When negotiating a new offer, ask explicitly whether the new employer offers a sign-on bonus to offset unvested retirement account forfeitures from the prior employer. Sign-on bonuses for this specific purpose are more common than most workers know, and asking for one directly signals to the employer that you're a financially sophisticated candidate. Step 5. If you're a manager with direct reports, build a vesting checkpoint into every offboarding conversation, not as a retention tactic, but as a financial responsibility to the person leaving. Telling a departing employee that they're 63 days from full vesting is a single sentence that can protect $6,000 of their retirement savings and cost the company nothing. These 5 steps take a combined 45 minutes to execute once, and they protect a retirement account decision that most workers will never consciously make at all. The 401k vesting schedule forfeiture is not a knowledge problem, it's a timing problem, and the only fix for a timing problem is a preset physical trigger that fires before the critical window closes. The reason 1.8 million workers lost this money in 1 year is not ignorance, it's that the financial system is structured to make the cost invisible at the exact moment the decision is made. A raise offer arrives with a dollar amount, a title, and an emotional charge, excitement, validation, relief, and none of those feelings contain a line item for unvested 401k match forfeiture. The system wins when your decision framework is emotional and theirs is mathematical, and the vesting schedule is mathematics operating silently behind your excitement. Behavioral architecture is the practice of rebuilding your decision environment so the math is visible before the emotion arrives, not after the resignation letter is already submitted. The checklist is not a buzzkill. It's a 3-number calculation that either confirms the new offer is as good as it feels or reveals that it will take you 14 months to break even. If the calculation confirms the offer is genuinely better, you leave with confidence instead of hope, and that's a more powerful starting position at the new company than an emotional yes. If it reveals a forfeiture that takes 18 months to recover, you now have leverage. Either negotiate a sign-on bonus, delay the start date, or decide the role is worth the cost with clear eyes. Clear eyes in a financial decision are not cold or calculating. They're the version of you that doesn't spend 3 years at the new job quietly wondering whether the move was actually worth it. The $304,000 retirement cost of repeated 401k match forfeitures across a career is not a dramatic exception. It's the documented average outcome for workers who job hop without vesting awareness. If this breakdown changed how you see your next career move, hit like right now. It tells me this type of specific retirement math breakdown is worth building more of. The vesting schedule check takes 45 minutes, costs nothing, and protects a decision worth a minimum of $6,400 in the most conservative scenario I showed you today. Leave a comment below with one number. How many months away is your next vesting milestone right now, if you know it? I want to see how many people are inside the danger window. If you do not know that number yet, write the words "checking now," because that comment will hold you accountable to doing the 45-minute check before this week ends. Subscribe so the next behavioral architecture breakdown reaches you before the next financial decision does, not after. That sequence is the only one that actually protects your money. The 401k vesting forfeiture costs workers money in a single moment of invisible timing, but there is an entire economy being built on timing decisions that happen while most people are asleep. If a vesting schedule running silently in the background of your career cost 1.8 million people over $6 billion, what happens when the economy itself never stops running? That answer is in the next video, right here.